Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany and in today's video we are talking all things whole home organization. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now I don't know about you, but clutter and a mess just make me crazy. I don't know what it is. I definitely feel like the state of my home and the state of clutter and the amount of piles or visual overstimulation I have, there's just an overall decline in my mood and how I show up for my family. I know I cannot be the only one, especially because I am a maximalist when it comes to home decor. I love a cozy cottage farmhouse that is full of lots of decor pieces, and it can get very overwhelming quickly if there are tons of other piles of things everywhere. To most, my house appears, organized and put together, and for the most part, it can be. There is a major difference between a tidy home and an organized home, and I will definitely say that after 2 full years of living in this house, we need a major organization overhaul. So I am putting together a 2025 whole home organization plan that is going to help me just refresh my space, give me mental clarity, make things easier to find, easier to store, take kind of an overall inventory of what I have in my home, and I'm bringing my entire family along with me. And if you need to do the same, we can do this together because this is a massive undertaking and it's gonna be a long process and it's gonna take a hot minute, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna come out on the other side and we're gonna be better off for it, and our homes are gonna be organized. It's gonna be organization bliss. So here's my organization vision for 2025. Let's just make sure we have this clear. I am looking to lower my stress levels, but I'm not necessarily needing like home edit level beautification of my home organization. Would that be lovely? Absolutely. Are there some areas in my home that I think we can accomplish that? For sure, but that is not my goal. My goal is realistic organization that is sustainable, because for me, that is the biggest key. What I have done to this point has not been sustainable. Maybe some parts have, some parts haven't, but that is what I'm looking for. A sustainable organization that my entire family is going to get on board with and that they're going to be able to help me sustain it, because there is nothing worse than spending 2 whole days organizing a pantry for my family to destroy it in one grocery order. And my vision and what I'm hoping to gain from this experience is overall less stress, more space in my home, better organization, and just being able to easily find the things that we have, know what I need to purchase, and it's going to massively help me stop overspending because I'm buying things that I think we need when really I just can't find them. So we're gonna break down this process into some simple, easy steps because I'm a little bit of a systemic person and I do well when I have a list and a plan and an organized overview of how it's all gonna go down. We're gonna break down this organization plan for 2025 into 6 simple steps. Simple in words, maybe not necessarily in doing, but I'm hoping simple-ish. Step number 1 has everything to do with assessing our current state. This means having a real heart-to-heart about where we stand with our current organization. And y'all, it is not pretty. We're gonna go behind the curtain and keep it 100% real, and I'm gonna show you some spaces in my home that desperately need organizing. And for those of you who think I have it all together and you often ask yourself, how does she make it all work? I'm here to tell you, and for these video shots to show you, I don't. I don't make it all work. I am constantly reworking areas that have been organized, and my family and I have a hard time keeping up with that organization. So number 1 for me are closets. Closets get so full and they just overflow with things. Drawers, my kitchen definitely has a ton of stuff in it that I need to just reorganize, have better organization down in the basement, only keeping what I need for everyday cooking up here. And while I'm assessing the damage, I also want to take inventory of what I have and maybe what needs to be restocked. The other thing too is creating kind of an inventory of what I need to better organize the spaces. I have a lot of closets that have terrible storage. My builder just put in whatever he put in. There was no rhyme or reason. They are definitely not designed for optimal organization or, mass use of the space. Actually, they're rather terrible. So that's definitely going to be something we need to improve as well. Tip number 2 is going to be defining the areas that I want to organize. And I want to do this so that way when it comes time to actually start organizing, we're organizing like space by space. I don't just want to start in one area because I don't know about you, but here, picture this, right? You're starting to organize your pantry and you take everything out and it's everywhere on your counters, but then you can't put anything away because the drawers in your kitchen are full, the fridge needs to be cleaned out, and it's just spiraling. And it's like that book, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, and one thing is leading to another, and before you know it, you're throwing your hands up and you're just shoving everything back into where it was, and nothing got done. I have got to avoid that because that will happen to me. I have ADHD along with everybody else in my household, and I get overwhelmed easily. I get overstimulated easily. And if I am not doing this systematically, I am going to just shove the things back in so that I can just move on with it, right? And we can't do that. We cannot do that. We have to have a plan. So we're gonna break down key areas in my home that need to be organized and figure out what the functionality of that space needs to be and make a plan for it. Also, while we're doing this, we can prioritize areas of our home or rooms in our home that need to happen before others or sooner than later because A, they've gotten out of control, or B, we know that when this is kind of the one thing that has to happen before all the others can happen. So that's step number 2, defining the areas that we need to organize so we can make a better plan. So step number 3 is all about creating a timeline. And I know this probably sounds silly, but some projects are going to take you longer than others. So for example, I could probably take 20 minutes right now and go organize one of the many overflowing drawers in my coffee bar, the junk drawer, for example. I could probably knock that out in 20 minutes. However, if I wanted to knock out this pantry that's overflowing and probably has food that's expired and moldy and I need to clean it out, that's a giant project that sometimes takes more than one day. I need this to be manageable or I'm gonna burn out, or it's not gonna get finished, or it's not gonna get finished properly. So I don't know exactly what this is gonna look like yet, but in my mind, this is gonna look like breaking things down month by month, looking at my month. What do we have going on? What does sports look like? Do we have extra days off because of holidays or school breaks? And which projects can I take on? And so instead of saying, I'm gonna do bedrooms this month and closets this month, no way. We're gonna have to take it project by project based on what time we have, what the timeline looks like, and that way we are realistically, systematically approaching this so that we're not burning out and not completing projects. The other thing we're gonna do with this timeline, my friends, and something that I definitely benefit from, is having mini goals. And when I complete certain tasks, especially ones that I consider to be the frog, and when I eat that frog and I get it done, I'm gonna reward myself. I don't know with what yet. That might look like a trip to Scranton's, which might defeat the purpose because I'm gonna get rid of stuff just to bring in more stuff, but you know what I mean, it's okay. I might reward myself with a pedicure or a cocktail night out with my friends. I don't know, but I will be rewarding myself for hitting milestones that I know are going to be hard to hit because dang it, organizing is hard. So step number 4 is all about the decluttering process that we're going to take here, and we're gonna keep it old school. I remember back in the day, I watched this show and there was a book. I don't remember what the show was called, but the book was called, Does This Clutter Make Me Look Fat? And it was this British guy. He was great. He had a great personality and he had a show, and I can't remember what it's called. If you remember, put it down in the comments. But he had the approach of keep, donate, toss, right? So things you're keeping, things you're donating, things you're tossing. And that's the approach we're taking this, because I feel like that is tried and true. And I think it is such a tangible operation when it comes to decluttering that anybody in my family is going to be able to do it. And I know there's going to be emotional challenges to parting with things that are no longer used, especially for my children, my younger children. We have an absorbent amount of stuffed animals that literally haunt me in my sleep. because there are so many of them and they're just overflowing out of every single crevice. And they're going to have a hard time because Toy Story ruined all of us into thinking that if we give away anything, it's going to feel neglected. And so if they know that they can donate it to, you know, somebody else, you know, it's going to get more love, and that's going to be easier for my family to part with things, including myself. I just recently cleaned out the office closet and parted with almost all of my planner goodies, and it was emotional, but I'm really glad I did it. And now that it's done, I feel zero, like I have so much resolve over doing that. I don't feel any negative feelings, and I'm glad it's done. So that's our approach. Keep, donate, toss. I think is going to help tackle the emotional feelings of letting things go that I know inevitably my family is going to face. Step number 5 is all about figuring out our storage and organization and what we want that to look like. Now, this can be the very overwhelming part of this process for sure, is figuring out, you know, how you're going to take your overstuffed, you know, disorganized space and turn it into a functional, organized space. And for me, I get caught up in the beauty of organization. I love a good color-coded closet, or, you know, just super organized drawers. I see some content creators who open a drawer in their kitchen and they have like one spatula and one spoon and one, you know, rubber spatula. And I'm like, yeah, I can never be that person. Like I probably go through 4 rubber spatulas in one meal. So as much as I would love to be that person, it's just not who I am. So with step number 5, I need to figure out what my storage and organization is going to look like. And that's going to depend on the area. Every space is going to look different. I need to research closet organization and, you know, having better shelf organization, because like I said, my closets have terrible organization in there right now. So researching and taking my time to make sure that I'm getting the things that are going to be the most functional. And number 1 for me is creating a sustainable system so that I'm not having to redo this every couple of years. Obviously, you're going to have to tidy and maintain. I just don't want to be starting over all the time. And step number 6 is all about creating a maintenance plan. And I'm including this part in my overall organization plan because I feel like I need to sit down with my family, and my family needs to sit down with me, and we need to have a heart-to-heart about how we're going to tackle our overconsumption. We definitely have a lot of stuff, you guys. I have a ridiculous amount of home decor. I recognize it, but I also love it. And I need to be better about letting go of and parting with things that I no longer use to make room for things that I do, and only keep the things that I truly love. I have started doing this when it comes to my holiday bins. When I put the things away, anything that I didn't use that year or the year before, I look at and make a decision about whether or not I can get rid of it. And I have gotten rid of a ton. I did this with Christmas, Halloween, and I will do it with Valentine's Day after I take it all down, because we definitely have to be better about getting rid of things that no longer serve a purpose for us or that we don't love anymore. And that is going to be part of our maintenance plan. You know, when we bring in new clothes, get rid of the old ones. I'm having a hard time parting with clothes that are too big now because I have this vision in my head that I'm bigger than I am. And I'm having a hard time parting with things. What if I need that? What if I need those pair of pants? Or my husband's whole thing is we can use it for camping, but we have so much camping stuff. Like, just being better about holding each other accountable. And I think for me, figuring out how we can compassionately support each other in this. So maybe just coming up with key phrases that we all agree on that we can say to one another, you know, like, do you love that anymore? Or do you think someone else might love it? Do you think someone else might really enjoy having that in their home? Right? That's a compassionate way to say, that's gotta go because you got 7 of those. The other thing too is building in organization maintenance into our weekly chore list. That's definitely something we need to do that I don't have right now, is, you know, just weekly going through the drawers, having the kids go through their drawers and go through their toys, you know, and anything that they haven't used or touched, get rid of it. And I think that building that into our weekly chores is going to be massively helpful in maintaining all of the organization progress we make this year. So that's all 6 of my tips for how I'm going to organize my home. My plan is to use the home planner that I bought for myself for this year to make my plan and keep track of it in this planner. I'll link it for you down below. It's a super simple, extremely affordable planner that I plan to use. And it's just gonna help me get an overarching visual, of what I'm doing. I'll also obviously take you along. I'll turn the camera on as much as I possibly can. When it comes to organization in the kids' rooms, I don't always do that because that is their private space that I don't always like to put on camera. Their friends sometimes find this channel, and there's nothing worse than somebody saying, oh, I noticed your stuffed animal collection in your bedroom, right? Like, that's terrible. And kids are mean. I work in a school. I'm a school counselor. I know how terrible kids can be. So I often do not put their spaces on my channel for that exact reason. But any of the spaces that I can take you along with, I promise you I will. Any of the awesome organization things that I find, I'll share with you. If you guys have suggestions for me, you guys have seen my space, let me know if there's things I should be looking into. I'd love to hear it. I would love to get onto Pinterest and start a whole board for home organization. I just want to keep it realistic. That's going to be the biggest thing for me. It's easy to see people who have giant homes with less people living in them, with minimal things, having gorgeously organized homes, and that is lovely, and I love to watch that kind of content. However, that is not necessarily true for me. My medicine cabinet is overflowing because there's 7 of us, and we all have prescription medications that we take, and I want to make sure that my goals and my vision for organization matches my family and my lifestyle, not someone else's. I think it's only appropriate that we address potential challenges to this plan, and one of those is time constraints. It is very difficult to get larger projects done when we have limited time, and I do have limited time right now. I work a full-time job. I'm a full-time content creator. I'm a full-time mom to 5 gorgeous children. My daughter is in her senior year. It's going to be prom season. We're coming into spring when the sports go bananas. So it's definitely, going to be tough with time constraints, but I think if I get everybody involved and I have a plan and I stick to that plan based on, what we have going on at the time, it should be easier to accomplish. Another potential problem, obviously, is money. It's expensive to create all new organization systems, and I want to do it in the most affordable and realistic and sustainable way. I am not looking to go buy expensive, clear acrylic containers for everything. And, some I will, some areas that will make sense, and others, I just want to make sure that I'm being smart and making wise choices. I'm about to have a daughter in college, and I just need to make sure that I am not overspending and contributing to more of an overconsumption problem by buying more and more and more organization things. I gotta be smart with what I'm doing. So that is going to be a potential challenge, but I think I'm up for it. If you guys have areas in your home that you want to organize too, then come along on this journey with me. Let's make a plan together. I will share with you once I have this all mapped out. This is kind of like my big picture idea. Once I have this all mapped out, I will share it with you maybe in a Sunday reset or a part 2 of this video. And I'll share with you, maybe I can create like some kind of document that I can share with you guys that you guys can use. There are so many out there that, I would hate to reinvent the wheel, but we'll just see what happens when I actually get this all down on paper and figure it all out. And we can do this together, because I'm sure that your homes look like this too. If they don't, then please tell us the magic sauce and how not to have this problem. But I'm sure that some of you out there have the same, most of you probably have the same problem that I do, and have areas in your home that need some tending to. To close out this video, I just wanted to kind of talk about how this goal aligns with kind of my overall goals for 2025. And one of the things that I talked to you guys about in that video where I talked to you about my goals for the year was that one of the things I really wanted to focus on was joy. I really just want to find joy in every day. Life is tough, but I want to just find ways to be happy and be joyful. And one of those ways is just decreasing the amount of stress in my home, and decluttering and organizing the space is definitely going to massively improve the stress levels in our home. And when people know where things are and know how to find what they need and have functioning spaces where they can get to what they need, we're just gonna feel so blissful. I just know it. So it just really aligns with what I want for my family for this year, and I'm really excited about it. And I think if I approach it correctly, I can get my family to buy into this. And if I find the proper motivation, right? Human behavior 101 is that the incentive has to match the motivation. So I've got to figure out how to properly incentivize them so that they are motivated to help me reach this goal. And I think I can do it. So thank you guys so much for joining me in today's video. If you guys have any recommendations, or you want to tell me what you're going to be organizing this 2025, let me hear it. Put it in the comments below. If you're still here at this part of the video, why don't you give me a thumbs up emoji saying that we are going to do this together. Give me a thumbs up emoji if you're still here, and make sure you're subscribed. I post 3 to 4 new videos every single week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, my friends.